Picture the last EV advert you saw. What were the top things you remember from it? Did it go something like this, perhaps? The Tesla Model S, 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. The Hummer EV with 11,500 pound-foot of torque. The Jaguar I-Pace. All the luxury, none of the emissions. Acceleration, instant torque, 0 emissions. All of these are great things, great attributes to celebrate on any EV. But do you see the one car factoid that's conspicuously missing from all this marketing blurb? That's right, top speed. Normally, OEMs can't wait to share the horsepower rating, engine size, top speeds, and more with us. But what are they hiding with electric cars? Well, perhaps hiding isn't quite the right word here, but there's certainly less focus on top speeds when it comes to EVs, and there's a lot more focus on their acceleration. Hi, I'm Tristan from Green Car Future, and in today's video, we're going to explore exactly why that is by answering 4 key questions that you see on the screen now. Firstly, are electric cars slower? While they're definitely quicker off the mark than their petrol-powered counterparts, EVs are most certainly lagging behind when it comes to top speeds. That's just clear. In fairness, it's probably not a big thing they have to worry about, to be honest, because most early EV adopters are making the switch out of concern for the environment. There's not many Clarkson-esque petrol heads amongst the current EV owners. Secondly, how much slower are EVs? It's hard to compare exact like-for-like, since the electric models in many OEM ranges are quite unique and don't share a petrol sibling car to compare directly with. But below are some examples of popular EVs in the UK and their top speed, along with another similar model by the same OEM, and we'll see how their top speeds compare. Firstly, the Nissan Leaf, one of the most popular EVs in the world, is in fact powered by a 40 kilowatt or sometimes a more powerful 60 kilowatt hour battery, and it gets a top speed of 98.5 miles per hour. This compares to the Nissan Qashqai, one of the UK's favourite crossover SUVs, that gets 120 miles per hour at full whack. Hyundai's Kona Electric Ultimate model gets up to a superior 104 miles per hour to beat out the Nissan Leaf, but then again Hyundai's i3 Fastback Slew model gets up to an even more pleasing 155 miles per hour. The beautiful Mini John Cooper Works GP hatchback model with this 2-litre turbocharged engine gets to a very happy 145 miles per hour when travelling at top speeds. It's probably what you'd expect, of course, because who's ever heard of a slow Mini, right? Well, the Mini Electric only manages 93 miles per hour. Yep, it only has 2 figures in its top speed. That's not a Mini, it's a BMW-made golf cart. Speaking of a German auto giant, we've finally come to the much-touted Audi e-tron, managing a pretty decent-looking 118 miles per hour. It's certainly beaten out all the other EVs that I've mentioned so far. But then again, the Q7 SUV petrol gets way up to 147 miles per hour. A lot of people have seen and maybe even bought the Renault Zoe, 84 miles per hour. Have you also seen the Renault Megane RS, 158 miles per hour? You clearly see the pattern that's emerging here, right? But is this pattern true of all EVs? Well, that brings us to our third question. Are all EVs slower? Of course, there are many notable exceptions to this rule of slower electric cars. The Tesla Model 3 is the single best-selling EV in the UK right now, and it gets up to 162 miles per hour in its fastest configuration. Audi then redeems itself with the RS e-tron GT, which boasts a top speed of 155 miles per hour. The Porsche Taycan Turbo is the second quickest at 161 miles per hour, the fastest being the Turbo S that can activate its overboost feature to gain an additional 134 horsepower over its turbo sibling, of course. Newcomers in 2021, last year, like the Lucid Air, are offering top speeds of 168 miles per hour, while at the top of the pile you have the Rimac Nevera, which can get up to a whopping 258 miles per hour, but with a whopping $2.5 million price tag to match. So they're not exactly going to be flying off the dealership forecourts anytime soon. So it seems that some EVs are incredibly fast, after all. When looking at the slower and faster EVs, one thing does seem to separate them: money. Price. It turns out that you have to pay through the nose to get yourself a genuinely fast EV, with the arguable exception of the Model 3, which is at least affordable as many other cars, and also the Audi e-tron, when you think about it, at around $56,500. But the Audi RS e-tron GT is 140 odd thousand, the Porsche Taycan Turbo S is 185,000, the Lucid Air is 170,000. So clearly some of these really fast cars are very expensive as well. That brings us to our fourth point. Why are many EVs slower? Okay, so we just covered that the elite slice of the EV range is definitely as fast, if not faster, than some of their petrol-fueled counterparts and rivals. But what about all the others we talked about earlier? Why are they so much slower? What fresh mechanical hell has forced a Mini in the 21st century to go out in public with a two-figure top speed? To be honest, the main reason for limiting the top speed of EVs comes down to battery charge, predictably. OEMs like Tesla, Audi, Porsche and others have shown that huge top speeds are possible, and yet many other models are maxed out at humiliating speeds. It's all about battery preservation and range extension, range anxiety and all that. Don't forget that one of the biggest factors behind EV competitiveness is max range. In the current market and climate of EVs, he who can conquer the consumer's range anxiety is more likely to hook the customer into purchasing what's very likely to be the first ever all-electric car. For many EV makers, they're struggling to keep up with the likes of Tesla when it comes to range. And Tesla is obviously offering speed along with range. This helps to explain, at least in part, why Tesla is doing so well in the UK and the rest of the world. The 2020 Model 3 offers up to 353 miles of range plus an impressive top speed. The Nissan Leaf only goes up to 226 miles max and it has lower top speed. That has a lot of sway for Tesla. Of course, the Model 3 can't go to 350 miles at its top speed, but in the realm of market competition, that doesn't really matter currently. So what do we conclude from all this? Well, EV makers are having to make choices about their car's performance. In order to keep the range high, they have to sacrifice some of the top speed. It's a trade-off. By keeping cars under 120 miles per hour, they can ensure that more drivers will experience the range as claimed by the manufacturer, instead of getting nowhere near that range. In a level playing field, this might mean that EVs would have many more years to go before convincing people to buy them en masse. But with the 2030 UK government deadline to actually ban the sale of all new petrol and diesel cars in the UK looming, people are paying attention now. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please click the thumbs up button. If you found it interesting or you had any feedback, please leave a comment down below. And if you like this channel, please hit the subscribe button to see more videos. Thank you.